Tiffany, like
Period.
the company. I know that's right. I usually start with a song, but to be honest, Tiffany's Roundtable performance was music to my ears.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll be playing it on shuffle. But hey, y'all, welcome to the Shade of It All. I'm Brandon.
I'm Maggie.
And if you're watching the YouTube, we're joined by a screen.
Yeah.
By the order of the Traitors.
By order of the Traitors. I love how Candace was in her bag with that performance. She got like very serious. I was like, okay, Candace.
She was like, this is my moment.
Yeah.
Turn the cameras on.
But we are joined by my dear cousin Madison.
Hello, everybody.
Hi, Madison.
Hey, Madison.
Hey, girl.
We've mentioned her on the pod before. If you're an avid listener, you know. If not, then you should become an avid listener because we're amazing.
Absolutely.
But Madison has joined us to discuss these epic episodes of The Traitors that recently aired, episodes 4 and 5.
So much happened.
So much happened. It's so many emotions, so many meta conversations online. A lot going down.
So much commiserating.
So much commiseration. But with that, so let's jump into it. Before Madison, how are you feeling about this season? Let's get Madison's like brief thoughts really quick before, since she's new to the pod.
Okay. I'd say I like that the Traitors are not fully against each other like last season. I think they're working really well together, and I didn't like the whole bit with Donna and the secret traitor. I think they did that poorly. I think if they did it kind of like the UK does, where they tell the traitors know the secret traitor at least to some degree, like then it would feel like they're more of a team, but like that didn't feel like a team, and it left so quickly. It felt like, what was the point of that?
Yeah.
I like the cast so far. Everyone's entertaining in their own way. There's still kind of a lot of people, so it's like a little bit hard to keep track. But the only thing I don't love about the season is they keep getting out all my Big Brother people. But that's
it. It's such a shame because last season it was like we were mad because the gamers were getting rid of housewives. But now, like, we kind of like the gamers. Like, it's like Tiffany, Rob Sesternino, Ian. So it's like, we don't want those people to go.
Yeah. They're like not the obnoxious ones. They're the good ones. So I was like,
yeah.
That sucks. But yeah, I mean, overall, I'm entertained with the season. I think it's like playing out really well otherwise. But yeah.
Yeah.
Period.
Oh.
All right, so let's jump into these episodes, y'all. Episode 4 started episode 3 ended the cliffhanger of who's going to be murdered in the woods by the traitors. What's going to happen? So episode 4 starts off in breakfast. So we don't know just yet what happened. But Rob does tell us he needs to play as dumb as possible and make it seem like he knows nothing. So put a pin in that for a later thing that will happen in an episode. Monet decides they need to gather intel and ask all the people who are up for murder what happened to see if the stories check out. So it's reminiscent of last season when they did that with the murder in plain sight, where they almost caught Carolyn because of it, but Tom Sandoval's dumbass was giving her all the answers.
Yeah, he just fed her the entire thing, but the idea was there. The idea was good.
The idea was very good.
Although I think this year it was a little bit harder to like actually catch him in anything. Like there wasn't the same level of that.
Yeah, because the thing with last time was if you weren't murdered, you saw Alan.
Yeah.
So that was a big thing. Whereas I don't know if the traitors at that time saw Alan at all.
No, I don't think so. This time they were present for each one, but the faithfuls wouldn't know that. So that's why they're like fishing.
Yeah. So we start to learn who survived the night. So first up is Ron, which wasn't surprising at all.
He's an easy scapegoat at this point. So.
Yeah, they think he's a traitor. The traitors want to keep him in so that he could possibly be banished. Like, he wasn't going anywhere. And so they question him, and he talks about the henchmen and being tied up and blindfolded to the tree. He does say he believes there were 3 traitors. And I'm like, oh, okay, he clocked that. And then he starts to say, he's like, I heard extremely light footsteps. The lightest, tiniest little bird I know. in this castle is, and I'm like, oh damn, Candace, damn. Mora.
He tried. He really
He
tried.
did try. I'm like, okay. And then I'm like, of course, it's wrong.
And there's so many, like, the cast is snatched, okay? There's a lot of petite people. Like,
There's so many. Like, I mean, I'm looking at the cast pictures above us right now, and I'm like, there's at least like 1, 2, 3, 4. The whole top row of women, and they're all very small. 6, 7, 8, 9,
some
10.
of the men too.
There's like, yeah, I'm like, there's so many people that are just like, that's not a good enough reason.
No.
It is for Ron. So Monet jokingly asked Michael, who was with him last night when they were murdering the Faithfuls. They all laugh, and Michael's trying to be more quiet now.
Thank God. Thank you, Michael.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for shutting the fuck up.
You should have kept that going. Oh.
As he should.
For the YouTubers, Madison was drinking water just like good old Michael, because he can't do basic things normally.
He can't do anything correctly, so.
No. Oh, Michael. Next up, Lisa. Another one not surprising because she's a traitor. And she's just being very dramatic. She's like, oh, I'm there. Oh my gosh, I survived. And then she looks at Ron and she's like, Ron. I'm like, oh, Lisa.
She did a little too much.
A little bit, which is Lisa. But even for Lisa, it's a bit much.
It's just like, but again, if you're not a Housewives person, which I know they all get like kind of upset if you like act like you don't know who they are, and I'm like,
I know.
Personally,
like,
I wouldn't. I'm sorry to be the pick me that wouldn't. I wouldn't. But like,
Literally.
I would know that she's not acting, and like, or she acts like that normally. I would just assume that she's acting, and that would be suspicious to me. But
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There's so many seasons of Housewives and so many cast members. For them to have the audacity to be like, you should know, please.
Crazy.
Right.
Like I would have had to have been invested for years to know all of you.
Also, even if the show was on Bravo, even like I'd be like, okay, well,
Yeah.
I guess like same network, I can see why you would have that argument, but like it's not even. So
Yeah.
I can barely follow Potomac and Atlanta. It's just two. Those are the two I've seen. Like I tried to watch for Jersey. I tried to go back and watch Jersey, and there's so much. It's like overwhelming, you know? So yeah.
Oh, Jersey. They need to get Teresa on the Traitors. She would be funny.
Oh, she would be.
She'd be so loud and wrong, but maybe she'd be a good traitor. Yeah. I don't know. But do y'all know the TikTok sound? It's wackadoodle time. Oh, y'all never heard it? Oh,
no.
That's Lisa.
Oh, okay. What was the context?
Heard it. I don't remember.
Okay.
Lisa just be saying shit.
I just know that she's from the iconic dinner that everybody turned to a whisper.
Oh, yes, where she smashed the glass. Also, did you ever see the clip where the blonde is like, I brought the bunny?
No.
Yeah. Well, it was Kim Richards, and she was bringing the bunny that Kim had gifted her for her grandson, I think. And Kim was giving it back because she didn't feel Lisa Rinna brought it back with like good energy. And then Lisa pretended to cry. That was so great.
Absurd.
It was. They questioned Lisa about what happened, and at first she seems a little startled. She's like, "Oh, I need tea. I need water."
I was like, "Oh no, Lisa."
Yes, but then she gives an almost too detailed description of what happened. She's like, there was a henchman, and then they tied me up, and it was a maple tree, and then it was this, and I was like, I swear, I'm faithful. I'm a good faithful.
I forgot she mentioned the type of tree. I was like, bitch, are you a tree expert? It was dark.
Like, I would never know. I would never know the type of tree. Nobody would ever say that in a normal setting.
I'm almost 100% sure it wasn't a maple tree.
Right. I was like, I don't know trees, but I feel like you're wrong.
Somebody Google that. Somebody figure it out.
I feel like too, because she mentions the axe and everything. And I think Johnny was like, well, Ron didn't mention an axe. But I feel like almost like if you're a traitor trying to be a faithful or something, you wouldn't want to be too detailed. Like, I feel like there would be a detail you would maybe leave off or something. It's almost a little more believable to be like a little, like not necessarily wrong, but to maybe miss something.
Yeah.
Because you're so in the moment. I don't know. But even Natalie was like, why would you say you're a good faithful? Like, what would that do? And she
I
was just
will
like,
say,
I thought I was gonna die. Oh yes.
I will say, I did Google, and Scotland does have maple trees.
It looks
Okay.
like she was tied to a
All
maple
right.
tree. Yeah.
So
Okay, Lisa,
unfortunately,
knowing
we
your
have to give her
trees.
that credit where credit is due.
I'll
She
do
might
it.
be right.
That's so
Okay,
funny.
Lisa. I'll give you credit. That's funny. Um, Candace says that Lisa's doing a little too much, but Lisa is dramatic, so it could be fine.
And it
Um,
doesn't seem like anybody was too hot on it.
yeah, they
Not in
seem
that
to move
moment.
past it.
Mm-hmm.
Next up, Eric. And I was like, damn, I thought they would kill him because it'd be the most random.
Mm-hmm.
But he does tell us that he heard someone's laugh and he is 99% sure he knows who it is. And it's someone he suspected since the beginning.
And he's gonna be right because he's a musician, right?
Yes, that's gonna help
That's
in
gonna help.
this. I thought he caught Lisa in this moment because Lisa to me has a distinct laugh. And I'm like, oh damn.
Mm-hmm.
For sure.
But the final one we're about to see that survived. But we cut back to the woods, and it's between Caroline and Kristen. And I know Maggie was stressing. She was like, "Not Kristen, not Kristen."
I was like, she's so cool. Like, let her
I
just
love
hang out
Kristen.
longer. Yeah.
Love Kristen.
Like, she shouldn't
No,
go home this early.
It's really pretty.
I know. I thought she's so pretty, and I'm like, I didn't want Kristen either. I was like, wait.
Yeah.
But we do see
As if
Caroline.
Caroline's not pretty.
Caroline is very
okay,
pretty,
like,
but Kristen's just
different
like
pretty.
We like you too, Caroline. We just like Kristen more.
Love you too, Caroline, but Kristen's like cool, pretty, and it's just like,
The
yes.
suits.
Mhm.
Okay.
But it's Caroline. And she looks and she's like, Rinna, you bitch. And she's just like, why me? And Candace is like, you talk too much. And I mean, we didn't see her talk all that much, I feel like, on the show. But in other things I've heard, like Rob C did an interview or in his deep dive or something, or his review of the episodes, he was like, Caroline was one that was talking a lot. And it's like, I guess they just didn't show it.
Yeah.
But Caroline's just like, I thought we really bonded. And Rinna's like, too bad. Too bad, Caroline. Back to Dubai you go.
It was so theatrical, but like so worth it. Like it was so funny.
Yeah, they were really trying to like act like traitors because they never get to. So
Sure.
Yes. And Caroline's like, I'm sure I'll see you somewhere, like BravoCon.
No, you won't.
Which Rinna did decline going to BravoCon. So
I thought she was just being stupid. So it's funny that she actually didn't go.
I will say, thinking back, I'm like, it felt a little almost personal, I would feel if I was Caroline, because she said, back to Dubai you go. Because they're supposed to be murdering them. So I feel like essentially like you would just be saying in the like vein of like, oh, you're killed or something. But instead she's like, oh, you're going back home, bitch.
I guess
like,
if she would have like phrased it like ashes or something, maybe that's too aggressive at that point. Be like, you're sending your ashes back to Dubai or like that. I could see it being a little more murdery, but like then I feel like it's also kind of aggressive. So
and Rob didn't say anything.
No,
he
didn't. He was quiet.
And I love that for him. He's very good.
Yeah. But Caroline thought the Housewives would have each other's back. And I'm like, she did only do 2 seasons of Housewives because Dubai was canceled or put on pause after 2 seasons. So maybe she's just not as familiar with the fact that, no, Housewives will not have your back.
Yeah.
But Kristen arrives in an amazing sparkly silver suit with black lace and a little red rose or flower on it. But Rinna says murdering a housewife is to throw people off the scent, and doing it to their face was so delicious, like a cherry on a sundae. I'm like, you're so evil.
The descriptions are so good.
Rinna would run over her grandmother. Exhibit A.
Right. Alan arrives. He says things are about to really heat up with the mission, so that's his little clue. Kristen explains what happens. She thinks there's 3 or 4 traitors. And then Jam Jam asks how long the ceremony was. And Tiffany's like, why would he say ceremony? That's suspicious. That's weird. Why would you use that term unless you're a traitor?
Yeah,
And I'm
maybe
like,
because
I
they had one
guess.
last time. It was kind of a ceremony last time it was like a church, right? That they were in.
Mm-hmm.
But this time they were in the woods, so I don't know why he
Yeah.
used that word.
I mean, I guess like calling it a ceremony to some degree, like I don't know. I don't know if I would have like really questioned that much personally, but like
Yeah.
I'm just thinking like because I guess it's what like I guess it would be what the traders would call it, but like I don't know. If you're like the sacrifice in said ceremony, like why would you? I don't know what else you would call it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think she picked up on it because she is suspicious of him and Ron and Michael. So that just validated something for her.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But after breakfast, they chat. And Ron's telling Eric he heard light footsteps, and Eric did as well. And I'm like, Dumb and Dumber, kind of comparing notes on their hints that surely are going to catch a traitor.
Charlie, at one point they can't miss every time.
Mm-mm.
No.
Or so we told.
Tiffany asks the group if they're voting for Ron, and Steven points out that he's trying to play the sympathy act because he's kind of more reserved and trying to be like, woe is me. Tiffany tells Kristen she thought she was gonna die because she's the smartest, and she tells her the three she's suspicious of. And I'm like, I like this duo. I hope to see more of this duo.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but Colton tells us that he feels he helped lead the charge on Donna. I don't remember seeing that personally, but
Like, was he there? Yeah.
we all live in
Uh,
lands of delusion at times.
I was
So
like, when did you do that? I don't remember that at all. This guy.
like he definitely said it in like confessionals and stuff in the first couple episodes, but like he was not the only one
they
saying,
all said something. So I'm like, Colton, please.
Bro
yeah.
has a hero complex.
Yeah,
Hmm.
he just wants to, he wants to do the Pilot Pete just so
Mm-hmm.
bad.
Which
Like
I
so
don't
Mm-hmm.
bad.
understand because I thought Pilot Pete was whack as hell. I'm like, why
I thought
would
he
you
was
want that
annoying.
to be your like archetype?
Right.
Mm.
There's always one. What was the last season? Last season somebody else did that too.
Well, Tom Sandoval thought he was big man on
That's true.
campus when he
Dylan,
finally got something. Yeah, and
yeah,
Dylan.
Dylan wasn't as annoying. He annoyed me a little towards the end because anytime someone would say anything to him, he was like, "Why would you say that to me?" I'm like, "Please."
It's like,
Mm,
come on now. But yeah, you're right. It was Dylan for sure.
mm.
Mm-hmm.
But he tells Monet, Mark, and Ron that he wants to take a big swing on Tiffany, calls her eulogy to Ian half-ass and fake, and says that she told him her steps are like her plan step by step as if she was a traitor. And I'm like, first of all, don't disrespect that eulogy. I took that very personally. I was like, you're rude as fuck with your fucking
I know,
fake
like
ass
what?
cape that's actually a cardigan. Put your arms in the sleeve, sir. Put your arms in the sleeve. What are we doing?
I hated
And
it.
that was rude. Didn't like that. And also, so Tiffany's this mastermind, but she's just telling you her whole plan.
That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying.
Skipping
I'm like,
names.
she's one of the very few like gamer people left on the show, and you think she's gonna just right spell it out for you? No, there's no shot she would do that.
And two of
No.
the people who she's referencing, everyone else is talking about too.
Right.
So it's really not that different. And she played Big Brother, so did Ian, and she felt away. Like, I don't think she was being nice.
Yeah, I mean, like, was it a little dramatic, a little weird? Sure. Like, you could say
Maybe.
that, but doesn't mean she's a traitor in any capacity. No.
Yeah, like
Like,
No.
she was like he really wanted to play and she felt genuinely bad for him and I felt like she had reasons to cuz he was like
yeah,
trying to face his fears and stuff. I didn't know all that. So it was kind of like personal, you know? It was like it was a vulnerable moment and he's like twisting it.
yeah.
But I guess Colton just doesn't care about other people.
Mhm.
But Ron is happy, or Rob is happy that Colton is not onto the traitors. But he is like, oh, some people are suspecting Tiffany, so this could be good. Um, Colton says he's playing more aggressively than he planned. If he's gonna go out, he doesn't want to go out like a bitch. To which I say, too
I
late.
think that's slowly going to show itself in an episode at
You
some point.
manifested that ending for you, sir.
Yes, he did.
Even though it hasn't ended yet, but you're being a bitch, so fuck
He
you.
will. He will.
Only in the context of the game, though. Well, I guess some people would say real life. Let me move on. So,
Yeah, it was like we could be shady about it.
You
It
know,
is the shade of it all.
this is the shade of it all. We go to the mission, and Colton tells his car with Natalie and Kristen he's going after Tiffany. They seem a little shocked. Monet brings up to Tara and Candace Tiffany, and Candace says that she thinks we should just stick with Ron. And she tells us she really likes Tiffany and it's not her time yet. To which I say, Candace, I always liked you.
Mm-hmm.
But they get into groups, and the whole plan of the mission is there's like these looming effigies, and they have to go into the woods, find these spears, and there's like hints with like these corn dolls and everything. And once you find a spear, you have to light it on fire, and then you have to light one of the beasts on fire, and you have to scream whoever's name you want, and then their shield will be burned, and they're eligible for murder. But there's only 10. They're each worth $2,000, so they can win up to $20,000 for the prize pot. So the groups are Lisa, Monet, Candace, and Eric. Then the next one is Kristen, Mark, and Colton. Then it's Tara, Maura, Rob, and Dorinda. Then it is Steven, Natalie, and Michael. And then the final one is Johnny, Ron, Tiffany, and Jam Jam.
So 2 of 5 groups have traitors.
Yes, because because Rinna and Candace are together, and then Rob is in a different one. So Monet does tell Candace, though, that he's suspicious of Lisa, which he should not have done that. But we'll see. Mike, they go to look. Michael grabs a doll, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I got a doll. I got a doll." I'm like, "Sir, did you listen to the instructions?"
It also wasn't.
So
It wasn't right.
not right at all. You need to find a spear. Colton finds a spear. And Monet finds a spear. Colton's team does Ron because they're like, oh, that's easy. We think he's a traitor anyway, so he's not going to get murdered. Monet's team does Tiffany, and Candace is like, we could have done Michael, but whatever. And they're like, who did they do? And I think Johnny tells Tiffany, I think they did you. And she just goes, I hope the fuck they didn't. Now, wait a minute, bitch.
Oh, I love her. It was
I
so
love her
good.
so much.
She's so good.
She's not the
playing.
one or
No.
the 2 to play with. Y'all don't play with Tiffany.
Put her
now
on
wait
every
a damn
show.
minute, bitch.
Put her on every show in every situation ever in life, please.
I do hope that like she gets onto something else from here. Like she should. They should bring her back if they're gonna bring. If you let Dorinda come back, let Tiffany come back.
Exactly.
Yes, bring her back here, or I hope Andy takes notes of her and is just like, oh, maybe she should be on some show or something, or maybe she'll be on Watch What Happens Live and he'll see. I don't know, because he hosts the reunion, so he'll be watching. Mm-hmm. So I think Tiffany would do well in the Bravoverse in some capacity. But Tiffany says, let's do one of them bitches who put me up. So she does her march and she goes to do it and she yells, Monet! And then she does Monet. And
it was like, so dramatic. It was awesome.
Mm-hmm.
It's beautiful. Rob's team does Michael. Michael's team does Tara, and his dumbass, again, not understanding the rules, he keeps yelling Tara.
You know, it's bad when Alan is making fun of you for the same thing. Like, I'm like, whoa, like, just stop repeating it. You don't need to repeat it.
All the way down the hill. Tara, like, bro, catch your breath. I know running is a lot right now. Like, maybe save your energy.
I would just be so annoyed too. I'm like, this is one of those things. I'm like, why do you stay yelling? Like, why are you doing this? Like, if I was next time, I would be like, please get away from me.
He's also having like, with. Oh, no, go ahead. No, go ahead.
I would say it's like it's just bringing more attention to himself, which like he already has enough of. He knows he has enough of, or I thought you would think he knows he has enough of.
I feel like he's having withdrawals because he hasn't been yelling at people and talking enough. No, so he's like, this is his getting it out.
And he's getting it out somehow.
Mm-hmm. Sitting here just like, Sarah!
Tara!
Tara! What is that? That sounded like something. Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh, Madison.
For the YouTubers you saw, but for the listeners, Madison just ate like Michael.
Bro, he's eating like an animal.
He's
so weird.
ravenous.
It's like hard not to make fun of him for it. Like,
yeah, because even when he drinks water, it's the way he holds it and how he puts his mouth before
like,
the cup is even
then,
close to his like mouth. He's like,
yeah, I don't know what that is, but like it's some sort of mental illness at that point. I don't know.
despicable.
Like, are you in a rush? What's going on? I know you get to the point of the meal where like scooping things with your fork is hard, but you can use a knife or
he had a lot of food on his plate.
Yeah, you don't need to shovel the plate to your mouth. I'm sorry. There's no reason for that ever. Take an etiquette class. You're in Scotland, for God's sake. Like, come on.
And that's how you know Michael Rappaport doesn't give a fuck about anything. Zero fucks given.
No, and he should. But then Candace tells Lisa that Monet said her name. So that's getting those gears going.
Yeah.
Rob's team does Steven, Colton's team does Lisa, Ron's team does Maura, and he says he wants to see if she'll survive. Michael's team does Johnny because he hasn't been up for murder yet. So now there's one left, and Mark finds the last one. The options are limited, but they go between Dorinda or Jam Jam. And ultimately, they pick Jam Jam. Jam Jam dramatically cries. And Maura's just like, why is he crying? He's terrible accent, but
it was so insane. I was like, why? Like, there's no tears. There's no nothing. He was just like sobbing, like fake sobbing. It looked so fake, which doesn't help his whole like might be a traitor vibe.
Like when I saw it, I was like, I know he ain't crying because he did the shoulder shake kind of cry, right? And then Colton puts his arm around him like, don't cry, man. Like,
Tiffany's been saying your name all day. I'm like, does that have to do with anything? Now, wait a minute, bitch.
Don't help.
Colton is the #1 hater. But Kristen is standing in front of him, and Kristen, like, looks back, sees him, like, fake crying, and is just, like, catching her breath, but, like, looks uncomfortable. And I was like, me? Because what do you mean? And I was like, if you're going to do it, Jam Jam, you need tears. You need to produce some tears. Like, if he was actually crying, that'd be one thing. But why is he
still be dramatic? It'd still be dramatic if he was actually crying. Like, what do you mean? This is a challenge.
Yeah.
And as we know in the show, the challenges aren't really, like, that damning most of the time. They don't really do that much. I was thinking a little bit more, maybe because they're like singling out like who can be up for elimination, but like
yeah, there's a lot of people though up for elimination, so like I get being annoyed, but the crying is just a bit much.
Also, Jam Jam's name has been thrown out as a traitor. The traitors aren't gonna kill you. People suspect you. You're a gamer. Like put 2 and 2 together. I don't know. This performance is suspect.
Very. But ultimately, they won $20,000. They got all 10 beasts burned. So the people eligible to be murdered are Ron, Tiffany, Monet, Michael, Tara, Steven, Lisa, Maura, Johnny, and Jam Jam. On the way back, Tiffany tells Maura that Ron is sus of her, and she's annoyed. And then Eric says he's keeping quiet about his clue because he doesn't want to throw everyone off and make people upset.
I was really hoping that I was like, okay, Eric, this better be good.
Right. I'm like, oh, they're setting this up. Maybe. And why I thought he was going to be right is because they told Ron's wrong prediction based off his clue. So I was like, oh, they're saving Eric's. Like, he's going to be right. And I'm like, damn.
Yeah.
But we'll see. Back at the castle, we see Michael eat. Maura's so mad at Ron. Ron joins Tiffany, Natalie, and Kristen, and Natalie decides to look at Ron and ask, are you a traitor or a faithful? I'm a faithful.
And what's that supposed to do, Natalie?
Like, you're not catching anything by saying that. Like, that's not helpful.
Not at all.
Tiffany's
I love
like,
Tiffany.
Girl!
But Ron says he's not always on, but he's into the game. And so he, like, is participating. Maura says Colton coming for Tiffany is very random, as people are starting to spread that Colton's going to come for Tiffany. And then Colton will tell like a group with Candace about Tiffany, or I think he leaves and other people say he's coming for Tiffany, and Candace is annoyed and she's just like, isn't this what happened to Portia? Like, why are we getting rid of Ron? Like, that doesn't make any sense.
Or why aren't we getting rid of Ron?
Yeah, why aren't we getting rid of Ron?
Yeah.
So finally we get to the round table. And Colton's telling us, he's like, tonight's round table is going to be fun. And I'm like, it'll be fun for some, but I don't know about you. But Colton starts it all off and he's like, Tiffany, you're the traitor I'm going for tonight. And he brings up the conversation of her plan to go for Ron, Jam Jam, and Michael. And he's like, you just said so many names. Like, I often struggle to like say on one name. And she's like, you're struggling right now, but go on. And then he said, you laid out your plan like a traitor. And she's like, so I just told on my traitors. Every last one of them. I just told on them. And then she's like, well, he's like, I don't think Ron is a traitor. I think he's a scapegoat or something. And she's like, so you think Jam Jam's a traitor? And and he's like, no, I just think you're a mastermind and you're the smartest and you're the most dangerous. And he says, you're smart, you're mastermind, and you're the most dangerous. And she's like, no, but I am the smartest. And he's like, oh, the smartest traitor. So you admit it. And she's like, no, I'm smarter than you. I'm smarter than you. He's like, okay.
And she's right. She's just beyond right.
Tiffany's never told a lie. Even when she was lying on Big Brother. It's the truth.
Yeah.
Somehow.
She starts to say, she's like, Ian and Rob were my number ones, so me getting rid of them makes zero sense. And that she wouldn't go for a gamer, but Jam Jam would. They go into it a little bit. She's like, I'm not talking to you. And he's like, we're talking to each other. And she's like, no, I'm actually talking to Colton. And then they go back and forth more. And she's like, write my name down. And he's like, okay, can I? And then he kind of like looks at production and they're like, no. And she's like, write it down. And then she goes back to Colton. They're going back and forth. And then she tells him to write her name down. He's like, oh, one F or two. And she's like, Tiffany, like the company. And he says, it was glorious.
It was a great response in that case. Because like also like the spelling of it, like when I was watching it, I was like half listening and I was like, why is he asking her to spell it? Like it just like it didn't even like really go with the dumb joke that well. Like it just
well, that's how damn dumb he is. You thought he was seriously asking.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I was like, what are we
It was believable.
Yeah, and that's the problem.
Of all the names in the dictionary of names, Tiffany is the easiest to spell. You say that to somebody whose name is at least a little tough. Like, come on. Actually, and it's not even smooth.
Does anybody actually spell it with one F?
Ever? No.
Like,
not at all. And then he tries to explain it. He's like, oh, because I'm not smart. And she's like, well, now you know.
The over-explaining of it too. It's just like, are you kidding? Like, are you joking?
Yeah. Ron and Maura go at it a little bit. He mentions the light steps and she's just like, I'll take that as a compliment. And she's basically like, you're doing what you did to Portia, don't. And so he stops. Eric decides to speak. And he says he heard a laugh after his plea to the traitors because he did have a funny plea. It was like, if you kill me, I hope my ghost and the ghosts of all the other faithfuls haunts you.
And it was good.
And I'm like, yeah, it was good. And I'm like, damn, he's going to catch Brenna or Candace. And he's like, I'm 99% sure I know who it is. And then he goes, Tiffany. And I'm like, are you kidding?
Being like so wrong after like all of that. And you're right that they didn't acknowledge like in the diary room aspect of it. They weren't saying like, hey, here is like his actual plan and him being wrong. Like they like kind of waited it out. Yeah. So you really did feel like it could be right. Like it could be right. And I thought he was so wrong.
I thought he was coming with something good. My thing is, because he does he back it up that he has good ears?
This is where he starts to say he's a musician. He listens to music over and over. And Tiffany's like, you might need a new career.
Yes, because also you just met all of these people, all of them. There's at this point, I think there's like 16 people in the game still.
Yeah,
and you know Tiffany's laugh. You know her laugh. Like the fuck? How do you know that so well? Like that doesn't. It'd be different if you spent the whole day with her. They were always buddied up, or they were in the same group during the challenge. He's got no other than him saying, "I'm a musician and I heard her laugh." There's no like support for that. Like
no, and that's what they should have pointed out more. Be like, you know my laugh that well. Are you sure? Like I'm gonna laugh right now for you. Like there's just no like.
Yeah.
It's not enough grounds, but it does sound like that is kind of the nail in the coffin in this conversation though, at the same time, because it does like give some sort of evidence whereas nobody really has anything else.
Yeah, and it's like, what are you supposed to say to that? And it's just
Right.
like stupid and like
They're
it's
grasping at straws.
I would also think imagine that the traitor was trying to be quiet and was trying to hold in the laugh. So I'm just like, how like loud was the laugh? Like how well did you hear this laugh?
Right.
Um, but Tiffany says she's starting to take things personally because she genuinely needs the money. Candace speaks and she said she feels like they're doing exactly what they did with Portia. She says Ron has been on the top of her list, but there's compelling points for Tiffany, but they're not as strong as her like case against Ron. And then she starts to cry. Tiffany starts to cry. It's very emotional.
Yeah, Tara started to cry. I was like, this is so tense and just awful. Like, I felt so bad for Tiffany because what do you do at this point? They have their reasons in their head and they sound like good reasons, even though we can debunk that they're stupid. I'm sure in the moment everybody was like, "Well, that looks traitorish to
It's
me."
something.
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly. This game is hard in that sense because it's like there's really not a lot people can go off of most of the time. Like unless you like
Mhm.
are kind of like how Portia was and like saying like certain things where it like makes you like really guilty. Like there's not
yeah,
really anything else that people can say besides like I just think you're a traitor. So
yeah.
like
Yeah.
And
yeah.
once people start thinking it, and then Tiffany didn't know her name was going to be up tonight. So there was no way for her to prepare other people to be like, y'all know it's not me, right? You know what I mean? To like
Yeah.
gather
Yeah.
some support.
Yes, and then, Ron says either forgive me or send me home for the Portia thing, which I agree with. And Candace is trying, but people keep derailing.
Yeah.
She brings up the sympathy narrative. Dorinda agrees and says he doesn't make himself available. And then Ron says he goes where he's wanted and where he's loved. And I'm like, I know that's right, but I don't know. Vote time. Everyone except Candace, Tiffany, and Michael vote Tiffany, which is sad. But Colton says if he's wrong, he'll wear pie on his face the whole game. And she says, you and Eric will. And so Tiffany has to
Okay.
go up. So good. Tiffany has to go up and reveal herself. And she gives this speech. I told myself coming into this game, be careful with how you are because not everyone will understand. But I am truly proud of the way I played this game. And you all should be proud of yourselves too, because you have proved that you get what you deserve. And you all didn't deserve me because I am a faithful.
For on the spot
Beautiful.
thinking,
Yes,
so good.
it's so on the spot and just like the nuances of it, the up and down, the misleading of making them think, oh, maybe you caught a traitor, but then being like, no, bitch, you just fucked up. And just everything about it, the delivery, her orange suit, she looked glorious. It was
Chef's
all
kiss.
10 out of 10.
Yeah.
And
She ate.
she did. And Eric looks shook. And I'm like, you
And I hate
should.
that she went out, but
I
Hey,
felt bad for Eric. Eric was sitting there with his mouth basically on the table, and he had the biggest vein in his forehead. I'm like, Eric is gonna remember this for the rest of his life.
I
I think
know.
before they read the votes, he looked at Colton and he said, "I'm gonna throw up."
yeah.
Like,
Yes.
you could tell he felt so bad for being so wrong, and then he was like, "I put my career on the line."
I know, right? You shouldn't have mentioned your career, sir.
I don't
I
think
hope
you're
he
gonna
gets
get
the
more listeners.
I hope he gets
Mm-mm.
the Ron effect a little bit. Like he needs the Ron effect now of like now you need to be kind of scrutinized for that decision because like that was you were wrong. You were majorly
Yeah.
wrong.
You were loud and wrong, and you
Yeah.
were
Hmm.
99% sure. But we'll see if that happens.
Papers in the
Afterwards,
lawyer.
yeah. Afterwards, Colton said he made a mistake, but he isn't going to slow down. He played football, and that's just how he is.
So much for humble pie.
Like
Right. Like,
what?
you should be wearing the whole damn bakery. And like, it's just so stupid and incredibly dense in any situation in life to make such a big mistake and be like, I'm going to do the same thing.
You know, I hit a wall. I messed up, but I'm gonna keep doing what I did
I'm going to do it
before.
again.
That's gonna
Like,
work eventually, right? That's
uh,
Right. And my
not
thing's
necessarily
this
gonna
in
work.
this game, you're going to be wrong more times than you're right. So I don't think you should stop saying names or
yeah.
thinking of people and all that, but maybe change your approach.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Like just be less aggressive about it to some
Yeah.
degree. Don't be spearheading the conversation each time and like being like I'm so good at this when you're getting everyone wrong at the same
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
time.
Yep.
Ask more questions, practice more cognitive thinking, maybe listen more. I don't know. Do anything else.
Just change it
Put your
somehow.
arms in the sleeve of the cardigan. Michael, I think he's talking to Kristen. He says one of the three hunks is a traitor. And I'm like, not him clocking it. But he thinks it's between Colton, Steven, and Rob. So I'm like, they should lean more into that. But we'll see if they do. We're at the turret. Candace feels like she's betraying people she cares about, and it's starting to take a toll on her. She takes off her hood, and she's just looking up. She's doing the infamous Candace look up when she cries. I was surprised at the round table they didn't have a crying goal for her. It's on Potomac. She's a crier, but she's known for doing the perfect triangle so it doesn't mess up your makeup. And it's just in the crevice in the corner of the eye.
That's awesome.
I'm surprised she didn't pack her own or something. That would be funny.
Or have one like in a pocket
have one in her, like,
have one ready for her. Candace talks about how Tiffany talking about needing the money and being a single mom got her. But Rob does say she was the smartest person to get out, which is true. So they can't kill Ron, Michael, or Jam Jam because they have suspicion on them. They can't kill Lisa because she's a traitor, of course. Obviously. They can't kill Tiffany because she was banished. So they go through who's left. Mora, they consider because it could frame Ron, but it would be a little too obvious. So they're like, let's not do that. Steven's random, but he's good at missions, so he's helpful in that way. Johnny's random, but he's well-spoken. Monet did say Lisa's name, and as far as they know, he only said it to Candace. So they could get away with it. And then Tara is good to keep because she's clueless. So bless her heart. None of the people are gamers or housewives. So it does destroy the pattern.
Yeah.
So that we end with them considering their options. So then we go to episode 5.
Yes. So we start this episode at breakfast. Eric, Natalie, Dorinda, and Candace come in first. They talk about missing Tiffany. Eric and Dorinda did not sleep well after seeing Tiffany go home, especially Eric.
I was like, I bet Eric did not.
I bet he didn't sleep at all. And he talks about like his cultural background and how he's a very caring person. And he was raised to like care for people and take care of people. And so he feels bad that his evidence contributed to all of this. And I was like, okay, you're a genuine soul, Eric. Like this is good.
We forgive you, Eric.
Colton should take a page out of your book.
Yeah.
They do start saying Ron though, and they're like, you know, he goes from victim to it. Like if you accuse him, he accuses you. He plays the victim a lot. If you say stuff about him, he'll accuse you next. And then they said he doesn't take any effort in being part of the larger group. And he distracted them with Portia. So they're still very high on Ron. Rob comes in his overalls, as Madison is sporting for us as well.
Yes. Thank you so much.
I did roll my eyes, but
he had to do it once.
Yeah, he had to do it. Like
for the Love Island lore.
It's his staple.
Despicable, but his staple.
Yeah. He enters with Kristen, Colton, and we see Kristen in her confessional, and she's talking about Colton, and she's noticing he's gathering votes a lot, and it's a little fishy. And then they all start talking about who they think is going to be out, and Colton says it's either Tara or Steven, which I thought was interesting because those were like the two of the people who it seemed like at the end of the last episode who they might be getting out. So for his bad reads, he's right sometimes.
Sometimes.
Then Ron comes in with Michael and Jam Jam. And Ron is like, people aren't happy to see me.
It's just like you feel bad for him, but like he also like brought some of it onto him. I don't know. It's just like it's hard because he was the first one to like really put out a name and be so wrong. That's like it's hard to get rid of that aspect. But then like he's so like woe is me about it at the same time that it's like, okay, like we get it, but
Yeah, kind of like a Debbie Downer. Like, I
Yeah.
know I was wrong and no one likes me. Even his like comment before, like, I go where I'm loved. Like, he knows that people don't like him, and but he doesn't do anything to try to make up for it. Maybe he feels like he can't. I do feel bad for him.
Yeah, it's just he's stuck kind of like because people think him and maybe because it happened in the beginning. Again, it's like, oh, people, it's hard to just get out of it. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
then like it seems like his personality is maybe a little more muted or something. So that's
Mm-hmm.
not helping. But it's tough. And then at the round table he comes alive, so people are just confused by him.
Mm-hmm.
But it is a little sad. But Ron, I did like your orange coat. So
Mm-hmm.
I'll give you that.
Yeah, and I was saying or thinking that because he led the charge for Portia, had all this evidence. Granted, it was good evidence, unfortunately, for,
Right.
you know, but he did all of that, and then they caught a traitor next. So like they remember, I think that one the most because it was the first one, and then they like had a victory after it. So
Hmm.
like there's just a lot of stink on Ron.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, while they're just talking and chatting, they do talk about Colton's time on The Bachelor. And I guess Rob's explaining to Dorinda, like, oh, you didn't know? Yeah, he was on The Bachelor, essentially before he knew he was gay. And Dorinda was like, oh, I didn't know that. I wish I did. And so they kind of like joke about it. It's
Yeah, they didn't mention him stalking. So that was they left out that detail.
Yeah.
oop,
I
oop.
keep seeing stuff on that online. It's so like it's so bad. Where I mean, like the girl has a restraining order against him and everything. It's like you.
Damn. It was someone
Yeah,
from The Bachelor.
I think the person who he
I think it
picked.
was the girl. Is it the
Oh,
girl he picked? I don't really. I never watched that season, so I don't know. But yeah, I know they were dating for a while after, and then he got really weird and creepy about it, and then she eventually pulled the restraining order against him.
Yeah, they like broke up and he couldn't he stalked her and put like a tracker on her car or something.
oh my gosh.
Good, good, good.
Hmm. But anyways,
Maura, Lisa, and Steven come in. So now it's between Johnny, Tara, and Monet. And we're wondering who's going to be left. And Johnny and Tara walk in. So
mm,
Monet was murdered by the traitors.
I was sad about this. I wanted to see more of Monet.
This show can't keep a drag queen on. They can't. They can't
No.
keep a drag queen on. Nope.
They're like episode 5 is the limit.
Yeah.
It's
I
so
think this
bad.
is the furthest actually any drag queen has gone.
It
Really? Was
is.
Bob
Because
got
Bob
out
was
so
before. Bob was episode 4. I found out yesterday.
Hmm.
So
He
and
made
this
it
is 5.
one place above. And they're
yeah.
like besties, so that's kind of funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, so we go back to the turret, and they essentially decided this because Monet had said Lisa's name.
Hmm.
And
Reasonable.
it
I understand.
is. I
It's
was just like,
risky.
yeah, what if he said the name to other people and other people put that together? But it seems like the name was only said to Candace. And I guess Candace felt very sure about that.
Yeah.
Um,
I don't know. That is a good point, though. I would not feel comfortable just assuming that that wasn't said to more than just me. At that,
right.
if I were her, if I were Candace. But at the same time, like out of the options you have, unless you go more random, it's breaking the cycle of like who's being eliminated anyway. So you might as well do somebody that was a little more problematic in that sense. But
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. I saw this clip. It was Morgan from this past season of Big Brother talking to somebody, I can't remember who. And she was like, none of the traders are looking out for their allies. And I didn't think about this before because last time they were very high on it. Like um um just like keeping around people who they were cool with. And
Hmm.
Candace was really cool with Monet. And you know what I mean? So it's like I thought it was interesting. Like the traders really have each other's back for a change. So it's like, oh, if you're at risk, then we're getting that person out for you, you know?
Yeah.
Whereas like Monet would have been better to keep for Candace's long-term game, you know?
Yeah. It's true. Last season though, they took them a little too long because remember they like kept Dylan too long
Yeah.
and then he turned on like I think Danielle and Carolyn.
Yeah.
So there's like a fine line.
Yeah. I'm more so thinking of like how Suri was able to use her allies very
Oh yeah.
well. Last season was a shit show for
It
the
was.
traders. But
Yeah.
who else was it? Phaedra did as well too. She had a lot of good faithfuls who were just like, no, it's not Phaedra, it's not Phaedra, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah, I think it depends on your allies and like how well they know you at the same time. Because like I don't know what the Housewives this season specifically, but like do they all like you said they were not all in the same show anyway, so like maybe they just aren't as close, so it's easier to like be like, I don't really know. Like you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like it's just like if you're not as close to these people and they're not gonna really back you up anyway, like then I think it's actually better to get rid of people that like would be more on your side. Because
mm,
like Monet, for example, I know Monet's not on the same show, but like you know what I mean? Like it's just like
Mm-hmm.
it depends on how far they would assume Monet would have gone to.
yeah, yeah,
Agreed.
yeah. It didn't seem like Candace was super, super close to Monet, but like I think they did have like something.
Yeah.
Um, because we do hear from Monet. Monet looked good too. I was
Mm-hmm.
I was like, as always, that's not
Yeah.
even a surprise. um he or she says she will haunt the halls of the castle,
So good.
ectoplasm on all of these hoes, okay? And I was like, period, let's go.
The one-liners
um
just keep coming this season.
yeah, and I was like, you're taking all the good people away who say them. Tiffany
I
is gone,
know.
Monet is gone, who's gonna entertain us now?
It's true.
Ugh.
But Candace does feel bad because Monet trusted her. And she said, to quote Dorinda, I am not well, bitch.
Mm-hmm.
So they toast to Monet, and Lisa is sitting next to Colton. And they toast, and Lisa just like looks at Colton in the eyes for a second and is just like, and Colton is like shaking his head too, like, I know. And they just kind of have like this silent moment, but it's a little like they show us, and it's a little awkward, like, and it's a little too long. Like,
Yeah.
Very. And also revealing of Lisa, because I'm like, you did that a lot on Housewives, so you were always acting. Interesting.
was this like this like shock, like trying to show that she's so shocked, but
Yeah.
I think Colton peeps it.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna come back to bite her sooner rather than later, I think. But
So Alan comes in, takes Monet's beautiful portrait, chucks it to the ground, and says the little like intro for the challenge, and says there's moisture ahead.
this is when he's
Everybody's
wearing his like JoJo Siwa like bedazzled face, right? I
Oh,
don't know
yeah.
what that was, but I really did not like
it
it,
matched the
honestly.
hat though. Yeah, I
It
think
did.
mhm.
I listen, I'm all for Alan's fun outfits every single time. I'm always waiting to see what he comes out with. But that one I was like, why are we bedazzling the face?
It
I
wasn't
didn't
my
love it.
favorite.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
didn't love it either because it was already on the hat. So it like kind
Yeah.
of just threw me off.
Yeah.
The like sweater was cute there. It was like
True.
murder with multiple
Oh,
R's,
yeah.
I
more
like that,
R's.
yes.
It was nice. So they start to kind of talk after breakfast about their suspicions. Lisa does say that she wants to put another name out there today, because I think of the Monet thing. And I was like, please, Lisa, please don't. There's plenty of names out. You can take a break today, please, Lisa, please.
Yeah.
So we're in the hallway with Kristen, Lisa, Candace, and Tara. And Kristen goes up to Lisa and says that she's really glad that Lisa's there. And they kind of like hug. And she's like, I like you. This is Kristen talking. I like you, but I'm getting like and trust mixed up. And Lisa and Candace are like, yes, us too.
Same.
Same. I'm like, you're talking to two
The
Oh,
worst group to be talking to. But
It's just ironic. The traders are like, it is such a problem for so hard.
so difficult. Can't trust anybody.
Yeah, and then Kristen is like, it's been Ron and Michael. And Lisa's like, yes, it's definitely Ron. And Kristen's like, why? Pregnant pause. Lisa's like, for many reasons.
There's so many reasons.
it's just like I don't know how they're not more suspicious of her from things like that. Where I'm like, come on, no, like you a little faster, a
I
She's
little
not as
faster.
know.
quick on her feet.
Yeah.
And so now this is the second time we've seen her hesitate. She hesitated with the breakfast story. She's like, I need a drink first. Now she's hesitating here. But thankfully Tara kind of saves her, and Tara gives all of the reasons. He switched to Mora. And they're like, yes, and then the victim thing. And so he always has bullet points. So they kind of just have a conversation. And it doesn't seem to go anywhere, but I noticed that this was weird.
Yeah.
Um, Tara in her confessional, she's like, she's suspicious, but she feels bad because she was wrong about Tiffany, and she just doesn't know.
I don't know what's happening.
Like Tara's here. She's trying.
We love that she's there and sitting great and pretty.
Yeah, she looks great. Michael, Natalie, Rob, and Maura are talking. And Maura says she thinks it's weird that Colton was so sure and they shouldn't have followed him last night. And a lot of them agree that they shouldn't have followed him on Tiffany. And Michael says that he should be next. Ron, Mark, and Eric are talking. And Ron is like, I may get banished, but I think it's Michael and Dorinda. Dorinda didn't let me speak last night. And Mark chimes in, and he's like, Michael is very loud. And Dorinda backs him up by saying, like, I've known him for years. That's just how he is. So they're kind of like high on those two.
Mm-hmm.
Eric, his reasoning isn't horrible. It's really wrong, but it's not horrible. Like,
yeah, it's not.
Like just the backing up portion of it, at least. So I'm like, I get. Like yeah, I've known him for years, and that's how he is. Like okay, but like why are you like when you see that everyone else hates him, why are you backing him up still?
Yeah,
right. And I think that's why it's suspicious because nobody defends Michael. Michael's like annoying. So if you're not shitting on Michael, then why? That's why when he was working or when he was doing the challenges with Tiffany, they're like, why is Tiffany buddied up with Michael? Because he's got
Yeah.
Eric, Kristen, Candace, Jam Jam, and Colton are talking, and Kristen asks Colton what he thinks about Monet being killed. And Jam Jam says that Michael should be out next and people are sleeping on Michael. But Colton asks about Ron, and he's like, he only comes alive in the conversations at the Roundtable. Other than that, he doesn't do anything at missions. He's stale. And Chris is like, relax on the missions. He does help at missions. And so this is where Kristen in her confessional is like, I'm suspicious of Colton. He doesn't really he's not curious. He doesn't ask questions. He just states like facts and then gets people to kind of like agree with him and give him an answer. And that is essentially what happened in this conversation.
Yeah.
And so they're leaving and Kristen pulls Candace aside and is like, I think it's Colton. It's Colton. I got him. Like he found Monet threatening. I really think it's him.
Keep going with that. Even though it's wrong, keep going with that.
It's wrong, but you're right about not trusting him because he's just a bad faithful.
He is a bad faithful.
So you're onto something, Kristen.
In her confessional, she's like, he doesn't feel like a team player and he herds the sheep and stuff. And I'm like, see, this is why Kristen needed to stay. She's smart. Yeah, she's wrong, but she's smart. Okay. You can be wrong if like it makes sense.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Period.
So it's time for the mission. It's the Fountain of the Faithful. Essentially, there's a bunch of statues around the campus, or around the castle,
the courtyard grounds.
The courtyard, the grounds. Okay. And they have to search for coins in the fountain that tell them the locations of these statues. And they have to bring all 8 statues back to turn the fountain on within 30 minutes. But there are shields hidden around. However, if no one takes a shield, everyone is safe. So it's up to them. They all decide immediately no one's taking a shield. But they are broken up into groups for this. They're broken up into groups of 4. So you can't 100% be sure that someone in another group doesn't take anything. They get 16K if they win, and they have 30 minutes. So they all break up into groups. And Lisa and Candace are the last 2 to get into the water to start looking for these coins. And Candace is just like, do I really, like, she was looking like, y'all got it, do I have to get in? And in her confessional, she's like, what if I fall in this water and get a yeast infection? Who's gonna take care of my coochie?
She's so real for that. Like, that's a real valid thing.
Valid concern. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know how the if they got a medics. I'm sure they have medics or something on set. Hopefully, with the budget the traders have, they're able to afford like good people to like take care of you.
It looks gross, but I feel like it was built. Like they probably just put a bunch of food coloring in water. Yeah,
underneath, it's probably completely fine.
Yeah,
but you know,
I get it, girl.
I get the concern either way.
So Kristen's the first person to find one. She's in a group with Tara, Rob, and Maura. They leave. Johnny finds one. He's with Michael, Dorinda, Natalie. They leave. And while they're going, Natalie is like, I'm not, like, while they're running, she's like, I'm really not sure if people are going to, like, be honest and not take a shield or not. So all the groups eventually go. And what we find is that when they pick up a statue, there's a little grate underneath the statue with a shield in it. And most groups acknowledge the shield, but they ignore it. So at near the end of the challenge, there's 6 statues in place and only 2 groups left. One of the last groups is Colton's group with Candace, Lisa, and whoever the other person is. So they grab their statue. Well, they have to cross some water, and it's funny because Candace is like, more water? Oh my God. How do y'all run in wet shoes? It is uncomfortable. I get her. Everything she says, I'm like,
yeah, that would be bad and pruny.
Yeah, it's valid. Mm-hmm. So they look and they grab their statue and they open the grate and there's 4 shields in there.
See, my theory with this, I don't know if we want to call it a theory. I think just from like working in TV and stuff, I think they saw that the other teams didn't grab them and production put more in that one, so there would be more likelihood that they would actually take it, especially like knowing Colton's in that group specifically, where he was like kind of like, I said I would never not take a shield and blah blah blah, and then here he is with the opportunity, and now everybody could, so they could all agree to lie. I felt like it was like more of like a planned in the moment thing for them.
Yeah.
I could see that.
Yeah. Because they have a conversation and Colton's like, yo, there's 4. We could all have one. Like, what do you want to do? And so they kind of deliberate, but we don't see what they decide.
Yeah, especially because it's like anonymous too. I think like extra, like they should have. I hope they did it, but.
The same happens for the other last group, which is Johnny, Natalie, Dorinda, and someone else. I always forget the 4th person.
I think it's Michael.
Oh, it is Michael. You're right. And so they see they open and they're like, there's 4 shields here. And Johnny's like, no, like we said we were going to be faithful. Dorinda said, pause. Actually, hold on.
Wait a minute.
Let's think about it. There's 4. And Natalie is like, I just don't know if no one else took one. Because if somebody took one and we don't, then we're not safe. Right? So if we can be safe because other people are like selfish, like let's do it, you know? We don't see what they decide. They all run back. Other groups help them run back. I was looking like, because Natalie was wearing like some tights and like a sports bra, and I was like trying to see if she had something in her pockets or anything, and I could not tell if anybody got anything.
Yeah.
But they come back. They put all the statues in place, turn on the fountain, and they win the challenge. So the question is, did anyone get a shield? And of course, Alan is like, you'll find out tomorrow. I'm not telling you right now. Yeah. So that's the end of the mission. They start heading back. Ron says that he notices that Dorinda and Michael were on the same team. So maybe they did that so that they could like take shields and keep murdering people. Lisa and Candace are in the kitchen with like Rob and other people, and they're just like, we did that, we ate the mission today. And I was like, I mean, you did it.
You did do it.
You were there.
You were part of it.
It happened.
It happened.
You on all 4s in that thing, but unless I think we love a good snake daddy climbing all around and doing it, but Rob is the only one who probably would have gotten that water even fully. But
right.
Oh yeah, he was having the time of his life.
Yeah. So Dorinda and Steven are in one of like the side rooms and they're eating and talking about Ron. And they're like saying their suspicions. And Ron walks in. And it gets quiet. He walks in, he sits down, he holds his plate, he starts eating. It's a pregnant pause. It's so awkward.
Super awkward.
And he doesn't say anything to them. So this is where I'm like, Ron, you're weird. This is weird, Ron. Like, you enter a room with other people and you can't say hi at least. Like, how's it going? Something. It's like,
not to bring it back to the Donna thing, but Donna did like had a similar thing where she walked into a room and then, but she immediately addresses, she's like, I get it. I know you think I'm a traitor. Yeah. And like, she like says it and then they keep going. And instead Ron's just sitting there. And I'm like, you're not helping your case either. Like, we all don't really think you're a traitor, but like, you're not helping that you're not.
Yeah. He sits in the tension. He doesn't do
He's very comfortable being silent in tension.
I think at this point he's like, nobody trusts me, nobody likes me, so I'm just gonna rock with it. Where it's like, okay, I guess I get that, but it's like,
It's
I
just like such a
also would
loser mentality, so it like sucks because it's just like I want to feel bad for him, but like I can only feel bad for him to like some degree. At this point, I'm just like, I agree, go, just go. At this point, like you're not helping anything.
exactly. So Dorinda's like, how are you? And Ron says, I'm good. And Steven's like, well, like, what do you think about the round table? It's coming up later. Any thoughts? And he's like, well, I'm happy to say my piece and that I'm 90% sure on two traitors. This is the other thing. He's like very confident in his guesses
Everyone's
and
throwing
stuff.
out these 90% statistics, but they're always so 100% wrong.
Yeah, like you should
Oh.
also have some humble pie because you were wrong and now you're 90% sure. Like, bro.
Mm.
And it's not Mora anymore. It's Michael and Dorinda, he says. To Dorinda. And Dorinda's like, what do you mean? Like, I've never written your name down. He's like, it doesn't matter that you didn't write my name down. I think that you're a traitor and that you're working with Michael. And she's like, okay, well, my faithful family like will
My
stand up for
faithful
me.
family is gonna protect me.
Like whatever.
Okay, Dorinda.
Uh, and we just kind of leave it there. And I was like, I mean, it's bold of you to just say that to her face, but it's still like just weird and awkward.
Yeah.
Uh, so Colton, Natalie, Rob, Jam Jam, and Eric are in the kitchen talking. And Colton goes, everybody who voted for Michael day one is gone except for Jam Jam. And Jam Jam's like, what?
I didn't notice that.
I didn't
And
notice
that's
that at
like
all.
it's worked out so crazy well. Like I know the traders did not mean that to any degree, but it's like it's just like a perfect like, oh wow, okay, yeah, that's true.
Hmm.
The odds of it happening are high, and the odds of him remembering are really high because I didn't even go back to fact check this. I just believed him. I'm assuming he's right,
I
but
think he's
Yeah.
true.
yeah.
Sounds right.
And then Michael enters the kitchen and he wants to sit down. Jam Jam gives him his chair and he starts talking. And I feel bad for Michael only in this moment because he was really on his best behavior. We haven't heard from him. He hasn't yelled at anybody. He's been super chill, trying to be super chill.
If
Uh,
if they didn't edit it out, to be fair. We don't
yeah,
technically know that. And like
yeah,
from
that's
what I've
true.
heard from him in the castle and from what other people have said, it's like he was always really obnoxious and crazy and loud and whatever. So like I don't know if I like fully believe that he was just like on his best behavior more than they just edited it out. But we'll
Yeah.
see. I could be wrong.
No,
I
I believe that. I believe that because they definitely like paint things a certain way. We heard him say he was going to chill, so maybe they just made it look like that.
yeah.
Hmm.
Um, Michael gives a theory and he's like, I wonder if like tomorrow Alan's gonna say like since nobody got a shield, two people were murdered by the traitors. And they like Natalie's like, oh my gosh, yeah, that'd be so crazy. And Colton's like, well, like in the turret, does Alan wear the same clothes? And Michael's just like, okay, like he like kind of laughs. I thought it was a fake laugh, but Natalie is like, why are you laughing? Why do you look flustered? I was like, because y'all put
Also,
him.
like, who would fall? Even Michael Rappaport is not falling for that. Like,
Yeah.
you're not. That's
Yeah.
not like. It's just the same thing of like, so you're a traitor, right? Or asking that question. Like, it's not helping.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
His response wasn't that suspicious to me.
I didn't think
no.
so either. And so, but it is to Natalie and Colton. Um, and Colton is like, this is what we have to do. Like, we have to press people to see how they're going to reacting. And he asked Michael, like, are you uncomfortable? And Michael's like, look, as the Tiffany flop yesterday, you should probably lay low today. And Colton's like, no, I'm going to keep shooting. That's what I do. And it's you, Michael. You're a traitor. And Michael's like, if you come for me, you'll miss. You're gonna mess yourself up. And see, he's like, oh, see, that's a threat from a traitor. And Michael's like, you really should be humble after yesterday. And Natalie kind of leaves, and they're like still going back and forth, but it's instantly tense.
And this is where I'm even more annoyed by Colton because he in this moment had me agreeing with Michael Rappaport.
And that's crazy.
That was awful and despicable. Really, Colton? Like, when Michael's like, you should be a little more quiet and humble after the Tiffany thing, I was like, clock it. Like, low key. Like, he's
Also, if you
not
think he's a
wrong.
traitor, if you think he's a traitor and you're saying all this shit to him, why would you not assume that he's not going to just immediately turn around and kill you, even if you don't get him out of at the round table? Like,
Yeah.
why would you continue? That's just crazy.
Hmm.
Because he shoots. If he misses, he's going to shoot again.
You
And
said you
Yeah.
were.
I play football. You see, I don't have sleeves on, right?
You said you were gonna eat humble pie, Colton. I don't see any of that.
No.
So Natalie, when she left, she goes into another room with Kristen, Mark, Mara, and Steven. And she tells them what happened. Like, oh, Michael just had a fluster, and he like looks he hesitated in answering. Um, and Michael zooms in the room, and he's just like, if it's me, it's a mistake. You guys are Colton's killers. And he continues, and Mark and Kristen kind of leave. I think he just made them uncomfortable. And they tell Jam Jam, like, oh, yeah, he's in there having a scene, having a moment. And Michael, in his confessional, is like, I'm an emotional guy. Like, that's just who I am. That's where I'm from. Like, I'm aware that I act like that. We switch back to the kitchen where it's still Michael, or it's still Rob, Colton, and the other people. And so they're kind of joking now because Michael's having a scene. And Rob says, it's Michael. And Michael comes in and he's pointing in Colton's face and he's just like, you're a bad ringleader. You're a traitor. You should be quiet today. All the things essentially that he said before. They start going back and forth. Colton's like, yeah, I'm the fifth person you accused. And he walks out and Colton says he wants to be responsible for sending Michael home. And it's just another like very entertaining, but just like chaotic moment.
It's also
with
really
Michael.
funny that Rob was the one who said it when he went off the last time. I'm like, it wasn't even Colton, but like, I'm glad that you think it's Colton. Like, that's very funny. It's very good for the plot.
Yeah.
It is. It was very intense. Michael just gets very intense for me. But I was listening to this one podcast and they made a point I have to agree with. Colton and Michael are low-key kind of the same. They kind of
Yeah.
get intense, they get aggressive, and they refuse to change.
That's true.
Not wrong.
Not no. I mean, Michael's going to take it to a different place, which we will see. But
Yeah.
in this moment, as of right now, in the context of this game and everything, up to this point, oddly similar gameplay.
Yeah.
True.
So we get to the round table, and Candace is like, can we address the shouting? And Johnny's like, yes, I did hear shouting.
I was in the other room.
I was there. And Michael says, conniving, colluding, commiserating, Colton. He feels like last night Tiffany was made to feel crazy, sad, and alone, and he did that to me today. He's been holding court. He should be keeping his mouth shut. I'm angry. He's saying, I'm talking about himself now. I'm angry, isolated, and pissed off because of him. He points at Colton. And he's like, no one would be better at holding a secret than him.
And that's where I'm like, damn, Michael, you had a point. You kept it game. You were being annoying with your little nursery rhyme and all that, but it was game. And then you just took it to a place where it's like, oh, this is outside the game. And now, as Meredith Marks said on The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, you can leave.
You need
It's
to
just like-
leave.
Even if he like for some reason said that and didn't mean it in the homophobic way, there was no way that was not going to be taken that way from somebody in the room, not just Colton. Like everyone was agreeing with like, whoa, that was like you took it a step too far at that point.
Because it was the very specific, like, you of all people.
No one would be better.
Yeah, at like holding a secret. And it's like, I would have been like, well, what do you mean by that? Why him of all people? Because he tries to say, oh, it's because I'm a traitor. Or like, no, it's because you're a traitor and all this. Because Colton starts to bring up, oh, because I was like, for 29 years, I was in the closet, all that.
Yeah, so Colton is like, so do you think it was fun for me to do that for 29 years? And Michael's like, I didn't say the 29 years thing. And Colton's like, well, that's what you insinuated. And Johnny is like, this can't be compared to being in the closet. Jam Jam looks upset. And Candace is like, what did you mean by that? And Michael is like, it's his behavior. He's secretive. He's cowardly. And Maura's like, it's a low blow. Michael's like, it wasn't intended to be. This is where I was like, you had a moment here, right here, to just say, pause. No, Colton, we're playing a game. I didn't mean that. I didn't mean it like that. I'm so sorry if that's how you feel. I didn't mean it like that. But Michael doesn't really like do that. He just keeps going. And so it makes it worse. It's like he's like defending himself at the same time where it's like, no, this is a person who you just offended by saying something really insensitive to them. And this is your moment to dial it back, pause this like discussion on the game and say you're sorry and try to like be genuine, and he does none of it.
No,
Mm-mm.
he basically doubles down and he says sorry, but it's like more of like a because I have to type sorry, like not because
Yeah.
he like actually meant it because I know he believes that he didn't mean it that way.
Hmm.
And even though everyone's telling him, "Hey, that's what it sounded like. Hey, you need to," I don't know what way he could have thought that that meant, but like either way, it just didn't like he didn't present himself any better after that moment either. Like he just kept like digging his grave, honestly.
Yeah.
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 And he definitely meant it that way. He could act like he didn't. He was just talking too fast and didn't check the homophobia at the door. He was
Mm-mm.
just trash talking. It was just like, I'm going to keep saying this. And then it was just like, oh, you took it too far. Took it too far.
Yeah. Yeah. Like this would have been a good argument for Tom Sandoval, not Colton.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like somebody
Right.
who's like we've seen lie about. It's like this is not comparison. As Johnny said, this is not compared to like what you did.
Hmm.
Um. So Lisa is like Colton took it that way, and he apologizes if I apologize if you took it that way, which is not an apology.
He like
Exactly.
shrugs.
That's where
He's
I'm
like, I
like,
guess.
dude,
Mm,
like, dude, that's so not the point. Like, it's not the point.
and
nope.
he's like he's a traitor, a commiserating traitor, and Rob steps in who never speaks, almost never talks ever. I don't think we've heard Rob at a round table in a minute, and he's like that means like to feel sorry for someone, like what are you even saying? And I was like
It
I
was
didn't know
just
what.
so good. Just like Rob, just out of nowhere, having like
Commiserating means.
having a dictionary in his brain, knowing what commiserating means exactly, and just like calling him out for it, making him look dumber. Awesome. So good.
Yeah.
It doesn't exactly coincide with his stupid act he's putting on.
Yeah.
Or but he did have one moment we forgot to mention in the last round table where when he voted Tiffany out, he's like, I've listened to Eric's music. The man knows pitch. Um,
He has his shining moments. He's really good. I love it.
I would have been like, I guess because I watched Love Island, but I would have been like, bitch, you are not totally Kyle from the Amanda show. Why are you acting like this? Like, what is this act right now? Like, what are we doing?
Mm.
That's
But I
funny.
guess not enough people watch, which is ironic because I feel like so many people watched Love Island that season.
Enough
He was
people watch
bigger.
to know. Oh, sorry. What'd you say, Madison?
I would say, yeah, he is on a bigger season of Love Island, but more people watch it, but just because, you know, of that, I guess. Like he was the big season, what, 5 or 6?
6.
Yeah, was the bigger one here. So
Yeah. So I'm just like, you would have thought since so many people watched it, but I guess maybe other celebrities didn't watch it, that they would have seen him and known that he's not that stupid. He's actually
Mm,
pretty conniving.
he is.
So,
He is. That is fair. That is fair. He
I
is.
will argue, I guess, on the Love Island front, like people on this show specifically may not watch it, not because of celebrities, but just their age range. Like, I mean, I feel like Love Island's very like 20s, maybe early 30s, and a lot of this cast is older than that.
true.
So
Hmm. Yeah.
You got to watch every show to prepare for this show.
Only
yeah,
Mara would know, and I don't think Mara's
exactly.
thinking about it.
No, and if
Or
she is, she trusts him because he's like the only one she knows. So she's like, whatever.
and he's been
Yeah.
helping her out. He carried her in the last challenge in the
Hmm.
last episode. Like he's been
Yeah.
like they've been kind of buddied up a little bit.
He
So she
plays
doesn't
it
suspect
real
him.
smart, even if I
Yeah.
think he just wants to sleep with Mara, but like still playing really smart.
Colton says that he made a mistake on Tiffany. And he brings up the thing about how everybody who said Michael's name has gone home. And Michael's like, really? I'm just killing people who put my name down. And Ron Ron chimes in, he's like, yes, you and Dorinda are.
You really
He
can't let it
said
go.
he can't. He's like, you're the pit bull and she's the housewife. And Dorinda's like, well, you're a housewife hunter. And Dorinda says that she, like, you know, she's that he's doing to her what he did to Portia. She was like, I tried to get to know you, Ron. Like, I tried to like talk to you. And Ron's like, I don't want to know about your family. I don't care where you live. My family is none of your fucking business. And Mara's like, oh, I think somebody else, Lisa's like, damn.
Yeah, the delivery wasn't the best. I
Mm-mm.
agreed with the sentiment.
No, he doesn't have to share everything about his family. It's not like
No.
required of you, like whatever. And he doesn't have to be open with these people that he doesn't really know. That's fine. But like, it's also not wrong for her to like be like, I'm trying to get to know you and asking you those questions for that reason. Like
Hmm.
both are like very valid ways of like handling situations, but like they're just completely butting heads and there's no solution to like fix that because they're so opposite with that. So
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
know.
And Ron obviously doesn't care that it makes him look suspicious because he's like, look, I intentionally withhold information because I feel like that impedes my investigation. I'm trying to find traitors. I was like, that makes sense. And so, like, I'm learning, like, as we see, like, we know Ron was put in a shitty situation for just being Ron and hearing Portia say things that were very incriminating. But, like, once he does explain why he's acting like that, it makes sense. You know, like,
Yeah.
but what it doesn't do is it doesn't help the people around you. Because, yeah, you're trying to catch traders, but you can't catch traders by yourself. You need allies. You need to work with people, you know? So, like, finding ways to talk to people and stuff. Like, he doesn't do that. But he's explaining why, and I guess it makes sense. He's like, I don't want to be close to any of you hoes. I'm trying to find a trader.
Yeah, and I'm sure it's also just bullshit. And there's been this discourse online, like more of like a meta conversation of everything, but it's just kind of like, okay, they're still harping on Ron for going after Portia, even though he had valid evidence. Like
Yeah.
Portia basically said, "I'm a traitor."
She
And
and she said and she
Yeah.
admitted to doing what he said she did, which was she's just
yeah.
like, I did misspeak, you know?
hmm But then like people like Colton and like kind of Eric, they give like extremely wrong evidence and like aid in Tiffany going home. But they're just like, oh no, it's okay. Like it's
Yeah.
fine. Like we're still gonna listen to you and like we're fine. And like, but I guess that is also too where the social aspect comes. Maybe they built a better social relationship with the others.
Yeah.
But I think it might be other thing. Like I don't know. But
It could be a combo of an issue for sure, I think. I
yeah.
don't know. I think it is partially the whole Ron, oh, woe is me of it all too, where it's like that's
Mm-mm.
just not helping that situation either. Because
Mm-mm.
like I think it would take time because of him having the first really wrong answer and being like, part of the first thing that happened that like, yeah, it's not gonna like just go away automatically. And that sucks for him. But like just aiding to it and not like really like working to like, make friends or whatever is it's just it's not helping.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, so Dorinda says Ron's a traitor. Candace comes back in and she's like, Ron, I'm sticking to what I've said before. Like, I thought it was you, and I still feel like it was you because of Portia. And then Michael chimes in again. And you know what, Madison? Now that I'm recapping and thinking of all the times Michael is like jumping in, you're right. This man has not been chill. He's
No,
probably been flapping his gums 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, as much as people will listen to him because he can't shut up here. Because he chimes in again.
they're
Yeah.
trying to give him the Tom Sandoval edit where it makes you feel more likable, and it's impossible because it's Michael Rappaport. Unfortunately, that's you can't do it, and it's very evident just with the cast and how they're reacting to him in general. But
Mm-hmm. Because he chimes in again. We're not even talking to you now, Michael. And he's like, yes,
no,
it's Ron, and you're next, Colton. He couldn't help
Oh my
himself.
God.
Colton's like, you're lucky you got it this far, Michael. And he's like, says who? And people chime in, says me,
yeah.
actually.
I mean, there was even a point where Colton was like, he's like, I don't even care if you're actually a traitor. Like, I'd just rather you go. Like,
Yeah.
I don't care. Like,
Mm-hmm.
and that's the vibe of everybody. They're like, okay, just get him out.
We're
Like,
sick
and
of you.
that's sad at that point.
Yeah.
Like, they can't even work with you to any degree. They want you gone that bad that they don't even think you're a traitor, but they're like, yeah, just go.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because Natalie chimes in and she's like, yeah, I don't care. The way you spoke to Colton today, I'm voting for you. And Eric chimes in. He's like, you're a distracting faithful or a traitor playing very well. You waste our time. And Michael's like, yeah, says the man with the magic ears, which I thought was a little funny. Kristen, it was funny. Kristen is fed up. Maura says he talks too much. They're
You
all over
talk too
it.
much.
Yeah, they go back and forth for a second, and Alan stops the madness and he's like, oh well, actually not yet, sorry. Colton says he doesn't want to be in the same room as him anymore. Michael asks like, oh, yesterday when you were in the turret, were you laughing because you got a Tiffany out? Like, were you laughing? Like, were you happy about it? And he just keeps going. And it's just everybody, they pan around the room, everybody looks annoyed, like you're just not
Yeah.
fun to be around if you ever were. So it's time to vote. Um, Colton or hold on. Lisa, Candace, Dorinda, and Michael and Steven vote for Ron. Everybody else votes for Michael. Um, um, so Michael goes up to the Circle of Truth and he says, the name of the game is to capture traitors. And you just voted out the best looking, the smartest, and the dopest faithful. And he walks out
I
like
could
this.
not give the bigger eye roll ever. Like that whole I was like, that was not good. It was so
Mhm.
did you think you ate? You didn't eat.
Mhm.
Like,
You did not eat like you were had a plate
but
or
like, good
anything.
luck on your like New York government campaign or whatever.
That's
Oh
weird.
yeah. He's running for office or for
Mm.
mayor or something in
Okay.
2029. Anyways, I don't think this was a good showing to see how you would lead.
In his confessional, he's like, I played, I know the type of person I am. I have a big personality. I do sincerely apologize if Colton was offended. It wasn't about his sexuality. That wasn't my intent. And it's a dry ass apology, so I don't care what you have to say.
Right.
And saying it to the TV, it's just like it's okay. You didn't say it to him,
You
so
didn't say it to him and you had a chance to, but you were
yeah.
just gung ho going on your like soapbox yelling at people.
Mm.
So they all get up, but this like they were wrong, but like it was kind of like a relief to see Michael go. Some people are surprised that he wasn't traitor. Jam Jam was. A couple other people were like surprised, but it's not like they're upset.
Yeah.
They're fine. They're moving on just fine. Um Kristen is talking to Colton or is talking to Mark and Eric about Colton. And she still suspects Colton, but she's being very tactful of how like she approaches it. But she talks about how he's like always like garnering votes for certain people, but then they're not traitors. Um somebody else with Candace also discusses Colton. So his
I think
name
it
is
was
out there.
Johnny and Tara.
Okay, thank you.
Hmm.
So they're talking about that. And then Colton to Rob, Dorinda, and somebody else. I'm so
I think
sorry.
Jam Jam
Okay.
and Mora.
And Mora. Oh, yeah, Mora was there. He says he's suspicious of Lisa. He asks Dorinda, is she always this quiet? And Dorinda's like, no, she's not. Thanks for nothing, Dorinda.
Uh,
I'm saying you gotta make sure that they're actually gonna back you up, and clearly not
They
even
don't.
Dorinda.
Nope, not even Dorinda. And he's like, she always has glasses on, and she voted for Portia, which is weird because of the housewife thing. And then she doesn't really give names, which we saw earlier in the day. Kristen was like, "Why Ron?" And she's like, "Oh, many reasons."
so many
Um,
reasons.
so many reasons. And so Rob is listening, and he's like, "Fuck, they're talking about a traitor."
Hmm.
Um, so, oh, and this might come back to bite her. So before they voted earlier, we got like confessionals from Colton, who's like, I'm offended by what Michael did. Michael is like, I'm just a trash talker. It's not personal. And then we get a confessional with Lisa, which I was confused by because I'm like, why are we hearing from Lisa
Oh yeah.
before the vote? And she just says she's torn because Michael sucks to be around, but he's good distraction. And
They
she
Hmm.
just
didn't vote
needed
for him.
they needed a traitor perspective, and they decided Lisa's the one. Like that's
But
all.
but she didn't vote for Michael. She voted for Ron. So I wonder if that's going to come up to bite her
Oh
later.
yeah.
Oh,
It
it could.
might.
Yeah. So we'll see. So they go to the turret and Rob is like, Lisa, I gotta tell you, people are talking about you. Colton is talking about you. And he gives the reasons why. And she's like, fuck, damn it. What are we gonna do? And they're like, we could kill Colton tonight if he didn't get a shield. But we don't see Alan come in, so we don't know about this shield deal. And I personally don't think it's smart to kill Colton. He just told like 6 people your name.
Yeah. It's because some people online they're just like, oh, Rinna and Candace should have been on a different team, so they would have known there would have been a traitor on each team. I think that's true. I wonder if how it was split up, if it's just like they ended up together, and then it just would have looked suspicious to be like, no, wait, can I actually be on this team? So it just
Yeah.
ended up that way.
They've been in the
Yeah,
same team twice now, though. It was for your
And I
mission
mean,
and mine.
it's the
yeah.
whole housewives, they're like friends type thing. Like it is harder to separate them to some degree. I like it without
Hmm.
it being super obvious, I guess. Like That's my only thing. I could see what either way, like they could have
Yeah,
gone together or not. Like it would have been better if they didn't, obviously for the
right.
challenge purpose. But I don't know. I'm hoping just like Rob slid one into his pocket or something, so at least they have the opportunity to kill
Well, he
Colton.
asks them. He's like, "Did you take one?" And he was like, "I thought maybe since you were together." And they're like, "No, we didn't have a chance." And I'm assuming he didn't take one too.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like that, but
Hmm.
Yeah, which is kind of disappointing because even though it wouldn't be that smart to kill Colton, I don't want him to be responsible for getting Lisa Rinna out. But I have a feeling maybe they weren't able to murder anyone, and the round table might be Rinna versus Colton.
who did Colton tell exactly? Like,
He told
It was
Rob,
Rob,
yeah.
Dorinda, Mora, and
Jam Jam,
Jam Jam.
Okay,
which
Jam Jam's the only one I'd be like concerned in that group actually really remembering that conversation later on.
that's true.
Yeah.
That's
So
fair.
And Jam Jam does have
Maybe
sus on
Dorinda.
him. Maybe Dorinda, but I
maybe,
don't know
but
if she would
like,
call out Rinna like that just yet because of the
Mhm.
housewife thing. But I don't know. But all the other people are suspecting Colton. So
that's
Yeah.
why I'm like, if he
it
ends up
depends.
like, it just he's close, but he's not that close. He just it could become a problem. But
Mhm.
enough people probably have also seen him be wrong so many times that like it's like,
Yeah, they
Yeah.
might get rid of Colton at the round table. And once he's a faithful, maybe if he did a compelling enough job getting evidence against Rinna, maybe the
Hmm.
next time they'll get Rinna.
I wonder
yeah,
how
that's
she's gonna. Oh, go ahead.
I would say that's why it almost would be better if they killed him at night versus at a round table. So there's less evidence, I guess, overall.
Yeah.
You know,
But yeah.
I wonder how Renner's gonna take this. She looks flustered in the turret. Like,
she does.
is she gonna confront Dorinda? I wonder. Like, oh, I heard you didn't defend me. I don't know.
Maybe so. I wouldn't be surprised.
I fear
So
her game. I don't know. I don't know. I she's entertaining, so I want her to stay.
Yes.
But I feel like I don't know if she's gonna be lasting the whole game at the same time.
Yeah.
I don't think Rinna will, but we'll
Yeah.
see. And next week looks pretty good. I know it looks like there's going to be like a banquet thing with like this red jewel. And
Hmm.
Alan said in some interview that like episode 7, there's going to be like a bloodbath or something,
Oh.
like at a banquet. So I feel like that's going to end next week and then maybe like a cliffhanger or to be continued.
Oh, probably.
Do you think that they're gonna keep dropping two at a time?
I
No,
think
that's
they're
just
supposed to
one.
go back to one,
Oh, okay. All right.
which
Which sucks. And I was like, ugh, you can't go from 3, 2 to 1 now a week for the rest of the time.
I
But
know.
I wonder why they do that. Why do you think they do that, Madison?
I don't actually know because like the scheduling of that doesn't follow any pattern of any show ever.
It
So
doesn't.
I there's no reasoning for
Uh,
that to be the point. I mean, I could see like
yeah.
a dropping 3 the first week or even probably just 2 the first week, honestly, they could have done. But past that, they would have left it because it's kind of like, oh, here's like a really long one, basically, the first
Hmm.
day. But like after that, I don't know why they would have done 2 this week. It doesn't really make sense. But
Yeah.
It's a little all over the place, but it's supposed to go
yeah,
back to 1 and then it'll probably be 2, like with the finale and reunion, like they
Mhm.
yeah,
usually do. But regardless, these 2 episodes were insane, intense,
so
Yeah.
much happened.
um,
It's really
so
good.
much. But I'm excited to see how the season plays out. They got me on the edge of my seat week by week, I must
Yeah.
say.
Yeah.
But
Mhm.
with that being said, I think that's it for today's episode. Thank y'all so much for listening. Thank you, Madison, for joining.
Thank you,
So
Yeah, and
kind.
I just
Madison.
wanted to make sure I wrote this down. I'm voting for you, Brandon, as the traitor this week for making us redo the podcast.
You know what, Madison?
How you wrote his name is amazing.
You should have
Thank you.
asked me how to spell my name so I could remind you, and I would have been Brandon space LORD.
Don't put
The
Napoleon.
Lord.
Period.
Spell
I
it
only put
right.
Brandon. Wait,
But
let me take the vote.
anyways,
I saw it earlier. Oh, that's so funny.
that is funny.
That
Um,
be that is how like sometimes when I see them spelling people's names, I'm like, what are
They
we
can't.
doing?
They can't spell for shit this, but yeah.
Look, sometimes I make mistakes when it comes to deleting things.
Hmm.
And sometimes we have to redo things. But you know what? That was just the Lord's way of saying that we needed to redo it. Anyways, with that being said, thank you so much for listening. Make sure to rate and review us on Apple Podcasts. Give us 5 stars, please. If you leave a review, we'd love to shout those out. Spotify, you can give us 5 stars, and you can also leave comments on the episodes. We love to respond to those. You could, if you want to see our beautiful faces instead of just listening to our beautiful voices, you could subscribe to the YouTube channel at the Shade of It All Podcast. We post fun clips on TikTok at the Shade of It All Podcast. We have our Instagram at the Shade of It All Pod, and we have our Patreon at the Shade of It All, where for only $3 a month, you can watch shows live with us. We're currently doing Real Housewives of Potomac every Monday around 8:30 p.m. Eastern time. We watch it live, so $3 a month. Pretty not too much, not breaking the bank. And thank you again, Madison, for joining. We'll see you after that stunt if you come back. Bye.
Bye.